image on a mammograph. Classical finding for duct ectasia. See, the question says 34 years old female, bloody nipple discharge, physical examination, presenting with blah blah blah, and what is the surgery? Now the question that I want to ask you here is bloody nipple discharge. Does duct ectasia present with bloody nipple discharge? Does duct ectasia present with bloody nipple discharge? Yes or no? Remember, any form of discharge is possible in duct ectasia, though most commonly you see is greenish nipple discharge. Any form of discharge is possible, but the most commonly seen is greenish nipple discharge. So I'll talk about duct ectasia person. What is the most common risk factor for duct ectasia? Most common risk factor for duct ectasia. Boli sir. Most common risk factor, anybody? It happens to be smoking. Most common risk factor for duct ectasia is smoking. Shall I tell you basic pathophysiology of duct ectasia? I don't want anybody to write anything, just follow my lead. This is the basic representation. From the nipple, you have the ampulla, then you have the major lacticiferous duct that branching into minor lacticiferous ducts, then into the lobes. Duct ectasia is a condition where you see the anomaly is present. Where you see the anomaly is present in the context. Okay. Duct ectasia is a condition where it is the pathophysiology or the pathology usually occurs in the major lacticiferous duct. It usually occurs in the major lacticiferous duct. What I want you to understand here is smoking is a risk factor because smoking basically causes vasodilation. Smoking basically causes vasodilation. Rather than saying vasodilation, I would say smooth muscle relaxation. It causes smooth muscle relaxation. It causes smooth muscle relaxation. So when I talk about smooth muscle relaxation, the blood vessels are smooth muscles, so they relax. But the property of a blood vessel, they have a recoil property. They have a recoil property. So whenever they dilate, because of the recoil, they can come back to their normal position or normal structure. Now, point to be remembered here is even the major lacticiferous duct is lined by myoepithelial cells, which are also smooth muscles. Because they are smooth muscles, again the smoking will cause dilatation of the smooth muscles. But remember, the major lacticiferous ducts do not have the property of recoil. Now, because this is going to dilate alternately on a regular basis, after a certain amount of time, it remains in a wavery fashion. That is, the major lacticiferous duct is becoming ectasic. To understand that, I would like to point out two different terms that are commonly used. One is aneurysm. One is aneurysm, another one is ectasia. What is the basic difference? What is the basic difference between an aneurysm and an ectasia? बोलिए सर, aneurysm और ectasia में difference क्या है? See, both of them are abnormal dilatation, but remember, aneurysm, if more than 50% of the circumference is involved of a vessel, if more than 50% of the circumference is involved of a vessel, it is termed as aneurysm, and if it is less than 50%, and if it is less than 50% of the circumference is involved, it is referred to as ectasia. It is referred to as ectasia. So aneurysm more than 50%, whereas ectasia is less than 50%. Ectasia and aneurysms, see, aneurysm is usually used in the context of blood vessels. Ectasia can be used in the context of any vessel in the body. So when I say duct ectasia, because now the duct is becoming ectasic, so after major lacticiferous duct, it becomes in this fashion. Now every major lacticiferous duct is supplied by a blood vessel. Whenever the blood vessel is supplied, see, the normal major lacticiferous duct, this is the major lacticiferous duct, and a blood vessel is actually running along with it. This blood vessel will be giving branches or tributaries to the major lacticiferous duct, that's the basic blood supply. Same condition here, blood supply. Now because of the ectasia, the blood vessel is actually dilated because it is being stretched across. Because the blood vessel is stretched, because of the stress on the stretching blood vessel, the blood vessel will rupture and the blood will come into the major lacticiferous duct. This blood will ooze out from the nipple, causing it to be bloody nipple discharge. So duct ectasia में bloody nipple discharge is a possibility. Apart from that, see, whatever is present, normally क्या था, यहाँ पे easily secretions are flowing, there is no obstruction to the secretions, but because of the ectasia, a certain amount of secretions will actually present here itself. Because certain amount of secretions are present here itself, it is going to ferment. Along with the fermentation, there will be secondary infection. Secondary infection of this serous fluid along with the blood will now convert the color into greenish nipple discharge. So the green nipple discharge, that is because of stagnant serous discharge. Stagnant serous discharge की वजह से green nipple discharge बनता है. Bloody nipple discharge is because of stress onto the blood vessels. Along with that, because this serous material that is present in the this location, it acts like a foreign body. Foreign body के लिए body will cause inflammation, so there will be heavy inflammation in this region. You all know the inflammation will heal by fibrosis or it will subside by fibrosis. Fibrosis की वजह से condensation होगा. तो आप observe करिए, ये आपका basic structure है, ampulla and the major lactiferous duct. आपके major lactiferous duct में fibrosis हो गया. Because there is fibrosis, there will be condensation of the major lactiferous duct. Because there is condensation of the major lactiferous duct, the nipple which is present here will also be sucked inside. Because of the fibrosis, this whole segment will actually move towards inside. Because the whole segment is moving towards inside, the nipple will also retract towards inwards. That is why you'll get slit-like nipple retraction. So slit-like nipple retraction, subareolar abscess, and discharge. And discharge are the classical findings that you see in the patient with duct ectasia. That you see in a patient with duct ectasia. So slit-like nipple discharge, subareolar abscess and discharge. If I say what is the most commonly seen discharge, आपका answer would be greenish nipple discharge. Otherwise remember all different forms of discharge are also present. They can also ask you black nipple discharge, that is also the answer for duct ectasia. They can ask you serous nipple discharge, they can ask you bloody nipple discharge. If I say what is the most common cause for bloody nipple discharge? Most common cause for bloody nipple discharge. Jaldi boliye sir. So the simple question, most common cause for bloody nipple discharge. Answer क्या करोगे sir? It would be duct papilloma. Answer would be duct papilloma. अगर duct papilloma answer या options में नहीं है, then you would pick up the next answer would be, बोलिए sir, malignancy. So most common cause of bloody nipple discharge is duct papilloma followed by malignancy. What is the most common cause for milky nipple discharge? Most common cause for milky nipple discharge is galactorrhea. What is the most common cause for galactorrhea? Most common cause for galactorrhea. Answer would be prolactinoma. Most common cause for galactorrhea would be prolactinoma. What is the investigational choice for prolactinoma? Investigational choice for prolactinoma. Answer is MRI. Remember, any brain pathology, any spine pathology, answer to be given is MRI. MRI remains the investigational choice. The only where you will see brain pathology and CT, that would be trauma. Trauma, blood leakage, brain injury, CT. Otherwise, any brain, any lesion, any pathology, answer mostly would be MRI. Chale sir, what is the treatment of choice for prolactinoma? Treatment of choice for prolactinoma. क्या करोगे sir? I said most common cause for milky nipple discharge is galactorrhea. Very good. Galactorrhea का most common cause prolactinoma. Fine. Most investigational choice MRI. Now on an MRI you found out to be prolactinoma. What is the treatment of choice? जल्दी बोलो. Surgery करोगे, medical management करोगे? Sir, it depends upon the size, and that is what the question is, and that is what I wanted to emphasize. What is the size demarcation for treatment protocol of prolactinoma? Answer is 10 millimeters. Any tumor less than 10 mm in size, medical management remains the first line treatment, and any tumor which is over 10 mm, the medical management remains as surgical approach. अगर आपसे पूछेगा 10 mm से कम है, आपने ट्रीटमेंट के लिए बोलना है मेडिकल मैनेजमेंट है. मेडिकल मैनेजमेंट में ड्रग ऑफ चॉइस क्या है सर? ड्रग ऑफ चॉइस फॉर प्रोलैक्टिनोमा. ड्रग ऑफ चॉइस फॉर प्रोलैक्टिनोमा. आंसर याद रखिएगा, ब्रोमोक्रिप्टिन फॉलोड बाय कैबरगोलाइड. ब्रोमोक्रिप्टिन फॉलोड बाय कैबरगोलाइड. अगर 10 mm से ज्यादा है, सर्जरी करनी. सर्जरी का नाम याद रख लेना, दैट इज ट्रांसस्पिनॉइडल एडिनेक्टमी. ट्रांसस्पिनॉइडल adenectomy. Transsphenoidal adenectomy happens to be the treatment of choice. So most common cause का milky nipple discharge के लिए याद रख लेना galactorrhea, prolactinoma. The point that I wanted you to remember is the size demarcation. That is 10 mm. आज मैंने आपको दो साइज बताए, एक माइक्रो और मैक्रो कैल्सिफिकेशन को डिफरेंशिएट करने के लिए 0.5 mm इज द साइज डिमार्केशन, मोर देन 0.5 मैक्रो है, लेस देन 0.5 माइक्रो कैल्सिफिकेशन है। दूसरा साइज डिमार्केशन मैंने आपको बताया 10 mm, दैट इज 10 mm। 10 के साथ साथ एक और याद रख लेना, दैट वुड बी इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ DTPA स्कैन। We'll talk in detail and talk about kidney. DTPA स्कैन है, it's a functional scan that is for kidney perfusion के लिए करते हैं। DTPA स्कैन के बेसिस पे आप डिसाइड करोगे whether to remove a kidney or not। Remember यहाँ पे भी demarcation 10% है, यहाँ पे भी demarcation 10% है। If the kidney function is more than 10%, you will salvage the kidney, and if the kidney function is less than 10%, then you will go for a nephrectomy। आउट ऑफ द कॉन्टेक्स्ट है, लेकिन जस्ट याद रखिएगा DTPA स्कैन इज आल्सो बेस्ड ऑन द 10% रूल। DTPA स्कैन करेंगे, विल लुक फॉर किडनी परफ्यूजन। अगर DTPA स्कैन में किडनी परफ्यूजन इज मोर देन 10%, यू विल ट्राई टू सैल्वेज द किडनी। अगर DTPA स्कैन में किडनी परफ्यूजन इज फाउंड टू बी लेस देन 10%, प्रोवाइडेड द कॉन्ट्रालेटरल किडनी इज एब्सोल्युटली नॉर्मल, यू विल गो फॉर सैल्वेजिंग द किडनी। Coming back to duct ectasia, these are the primary features that you see in duct ectasia. Slit-like nipple retraction, subaerial abscess, discharge greenish black or any other form। मैमोग्राफ करोगे, मैमोग्राफ में आपको जो मेजर लैक्टिसफेरस डक्ट है, they would be in this fashion, because they are in wavery fashion, the mammograph will not be able to pick up in a clean lines। इसकी वजह से distorted image नजर आता है, which I've shown you in the image। So remember, distorted mammograph with slit-like nipple retraction, answer is duct ectasia। Treatment of choice for duct ectasia क्या करोगे सर? सर्जरी करोगे ना सर? सर एक्टेशिया रिवर्सिबल होता है कि रिवर्सिबल होता है? एन्यूरिज्म रिवर्सिबल होता है कि रिवर्सिबल होता है? सर इट इज वीकनिंग बिकॉज ऑफ फाइब्रस डायलेटेशन। रिमेंबर, फाइब्रस चेंजेस आर ऑलवेज इरिवर्सिबल, चाहे वो एन्यूरिज्म हो चाहे वो एक्टेशिया हो। रिमेंबर, एक्टेशिया इज आल्सो इरिवर्सिबल। सो मेडिकल मैनेजमेंट का कोई रोल नहीं है यहाँ पे, आपने सर्जिकल मैनेजमेंट करना है। ट्रीटमेंट में सर्जरी करोगे, सर्जरी में क्या करोगे सर? नाम बता दो सर। देखिए, नॉर्मली take the representation of nipple. These are the major lacticiferous duct. All the major lacticiferous duct are actually dilated. I would say at least few of them are dilated. Ectasia or all that I need to do is remove all the ducts, not only one which are affected but the one which are also not affected. Completely सारे major lacticiferous duct को remove कर दो। After you remove that means no major lacticiferous duct, no ectasia, no problem. Such a surgery is referred to as anybody? Hadfield surgery. It is Hadfield surgery. Hadfield surgery. So surgery में याद रखिए, Hadfield surgery आपको, I can give you a small mnemonic to remember it or a small way to remember it. This is the entire field is being cleared, right? पूरा field clear कर दो, that means the entire breast field with major lacticiferous is removed. So entire field clearance के लिए Hadfield surgery करोगे। I'm emphasizing this because you have another surgery that is Halsted. That is, what is Halsted's? That is the context of mastectomy. We'll talk in detail, but अभी के लिए याद रखिए, Hadfield is to remove the entire one। अगर मैं सिर्फ एक ही मेजर लैक्टिफेरस डक्ट को निकालता हूँ, उसको क्या बोलते हैं सर? Microododectomy। If I say microododectomy, that is removal of only one major lacticiferous duct. This is a treatment of choice for anybody? Duct papilloma। अगर बोलेगा duct papilloma, treatment of choice surgical aspect, that is microododectomy, remove the duct which has been affected। Whereas in the context of duct ectasia, answer याद